wanted to create a convention that we felt like was truly built from the ground up to be very inclusive of everyone, like make everyone feel like they really belong in the world of fandom, because they do. Everybody deserves a seat at the table and deserves to feel comfortable and safe attending events, and not to be shut out of like networking opportunities and fun stuff to do. So that was the original impetus, and it's been so much fun that we keep doing it, just because it's the number of awesome people that we've met along the way, and just how much everyone, including us, looks forward to that weekend in October every year. It's not that big a stretch to say that sometimes people do go and then come out a little bit changed on the other side of it, at least in terms of their new friends and their new thoughts on things, and like rejuvenated inspiration.
I think the conversations is what Jesse means. When you come out of it and you've had all of these amazing conversations that you don't necessarily get to have in everyday life, people who are smart and funny and usually quite goofy, and it's becoming a family.
So after 25 episodes, meeting about 50 different artists, learning all about all the sponsors at Multiverse, and all of the unique and interesting things that Multiverse does, we are sure you still have some questions. So we brought in the only person that we know that can answer the majority of them. She is the programming director for Multiverse, and the Right Track director, and the author of the Soul Cavern series. She is the one and only Venessa Giunta. And tonight, as become our tradition, we welcome her for the entire hour to answer all of your questions, as we turn the spotlight on the Multiverse Convention one last time for 2024 with your host, Joe Compton. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the season finale of the Spotlight of Multiverse. And yes, I have. Look, I mean, she doesn't need an introduction, but certainly we're gonna.
But that was an incredible one. I was like all sniffly and stuff.
I'm just gonna start the show with a question from the audience. Are we there yet? Almost. We are almost there.
Yay! Close, but I'm not ready yet, y'all. Give me another week and a half. I'm not ready. So close. Oh, it's us. Hey, everybody.
Hi, Adita.
There's Anita.
Hi, Paige. Hi, PLC 225. Whoever that is, I'm not sure who that is, but and hi, Jesse. But yeah, we are here at the Multiverse Spotlight, and Jesse says we'll see y'all this week. Yes, we will.
Oh my God, it's next week.
It is.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
Last year we did this show with a little bit of a buffer before we had, but now
it's like, oh my God, I gotta go. I've got stuff to do.
No. You promised me this hour, and this hour is
yes,
ours.
You're right. You're right.
So, I mean, I gave a pretty good introduction there, but if there's anything you want to add, this is this is your moment. So please, pontificate.
I feel like you've covered it all. I feel like you did a good job. You covered it. So for those who don't know, but I think everybody out there does know, Multiverse is a science fiction, fantasy, horror fandom convention in Peach Tree City, Georgia, which is just south of Atlanta. It's just south of the airport. And it is October 18th through the 20th, which is, as Jesse said, next week. Thanks, Jesse. So it's next week. We're real excited. The schedule will be out this week. I'm hoping Wednesday at the latest. But we had a little snafu with that. Yeah. That has caused us to be a little late in getting it out. We had the schedule mostly locked down at the end of September, and then we realized that the service that we use for like the ticketing and the scheduling and all that, they used to have an app, and they discontinued it the week before last year's Multiverse, but it was fine. It still worked, except this year, and they've been telling us in emails, if you were with us when we had the app, you can still use it, cool. Except they neglected to say that they took it out of the Play stores, which we did not discover until about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago now, maybe. And so it has just been a mad scramble to make sure that we would have an app. So so those of you who are old hands at Multiverse, we're going to be in a different app this year. So
Yeah, I already deleted the one I
release
had
that.
last year. You should call me. I did have the app on my phone. I could have probably sent you.
No. The thing is, I have if you already have the app, it would have been fine, but none of the new people would be able to download the app to get to the schedule, right? So that would have been the issue.
Sean says hello. Paige says she's not even packing her shoes. She's just going to head to the door to get there. Yeah. I was just talking to our good friend Mr. Bob Magoo today, and he was saying how excited he is because he doesn't have to go through the Atlanta traffic to get to Peach City.
Yes, and same with me. Like I'm on the far west side, not the far west, but I'm just outside the perimeter on the west side. But it means I don't have to go east into the city. I just have to go east far enough to get onto 285 and then just head south and just keep driving. Yeah. So,
something I wanted to share with you to start with this year. We have a lot of new folks. We talked about this. We previewed this on Friday. And so for people who don't understand how this kind of works, can you kind of explain a little bit about what your role is in terms of how you set this all up and how it becomes what it becomes when people get there?
Okay, so what I do is I'm the senior programming director, which means all of the individual tracks that have all the great programming, like the science fiction track and the horror track and the write track and the art track and the play track, which is about it's about game creation or playing games. All of those things, I'm kind of above all, like we have directors for all of those tracks. They really do most of the hard work on the tracks. I really just have to herd them, which is a whole thing in itself. Don't make it seem like I'm just sitting back there, on my laurels. But yeah, it's just I kind of make sure that we've got everything we need and all the track directors are set up so that they have what they need to create like the really cool panels and sessions that we have for them. So that's basically what I do. We really kind of start at the beginning of the year. That's when we really start. Guest applications open on January 1st. And then we start the guest selection process about halfway through it. So like sometime in March, we'll have our first meeting, and then and then in April, applications close the end of March. So then in April, we have another meeting, and really we select the guests democratically. Mm-hmm. So all the directors, as many as I can get in one place at one time. I mean, and by one place, I mean one Zoom at one time. And, we go through the applications, and then we all choose together. Paige is cracking me up over there. Mama is coming. Yes.
100 guests, 108 panels and events, and a dozen different tracks, not a small job. So,
So, Mama is coming.
I wanted to do that because I just so that if there's nobody who doesn't know you, which I find hard to believe at this point, but for anybody
I get around,
and for anybody who's new, who's maybe a little bit more introverted, who maybe is stepping out to do this and taking a chance, taking an opportunity to be a part of our family for the first time. I just wanted them to know that this is the person that they need to talk to and befriend. And Venessa is very cordial, and she's very friendly, and she'll answer all your questions. So I wanted to give everybody
thanks, Joe. I appreciate you giving me out there for I'm not going to have time to do anything at the con. No, I'm kidding. No, you're right. I mean, people can absolutely come to me, but also people can come to anyone involved in the con.
Absolutely.
If you have questions about anything, there's not anybody at the convention. In many cases, not just staff, also guests who have been around for a while or attendees.
Sean, you're trolling us now. Come on now.
Well,
Come on, Elman.
it's mostly Democratic, but like, yeah, it's mostly Democratic.
No, but yeah,
yeah.
But I wanted, but you're the person I'm talking to tonight,
Mhm.
so I wanted people to know
Okay.
that, so, But
Yes.
I mean, if you see that Vanessa's busy, please, just be patient, but don't,
Yeah.
but
I
Vanessa's
do
always making
always,
appearances.
I always try. Like I was at Dragon Con and there was a writer, a new and youngish, like probably late 20s writer who was she had come up to me after a panel or something and she wanted to talk. She was like, could I pick your brain? I'm like, yes, you can, but I have to go do a thing. I will be right back. So I like went and did my thing. And then I came back and I was like, I haven't forgotten about you. And then but I had to do another thing because I work also the writer's track at Dragon Con. And so I'm doing these and then I got sidetracked by something else that absolutely needed to be handled right then. And then I got sidetracked because somebody else was doing a thing. And finally I was like, okay, I'm going to my room. So I start walking away. And she's like, Vanessa. And she kind of follows me out down the hall. And I look and I'm like, crap, I forgot. She's like, I can come back another time. I was like, no, it's fine. I had just forgotten. So, we sat and we talked for a good 40 minutes, probably.
Nice.
But yeah, my intentions are always to help you if you need help. But sometimes I might need to be wrangled.
And so I just want to mention it to the chat out there. If you have questions, now's the time to put them in there so that we can start seeding through them and getting through them. I will continue my questions in the meantime. So what is different about this year for you? I mean, there's an obvious answer to that question, which is
there's a hotel.
and a bigger space and more
so much
programming.
Bigger.
But what is truly different for you this year that it wasn't involved with the job last year?
For me, as far as being programming director,
I mean, you can go over everything that is different about Multiverse because you have a hand in all of it. But I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's just start with what's actually new for the convention itself. So obviously we are in a new hotel. And as you mentioned, it is so much bigger, which has allowed us to add some things that we've been wanting to add, but just didn't have the space. One of the things I'm really excited about is our new track that's specifically for our attendees, our multiversians who are under 18. So we've got a kids track, basically, called Adventure. You might notice that all of our tracks are actually verbs like write and create and geek, because our science fiction, fantasy, and horror, those are actually subtitles for the track. Yes, Adventure is our new kids track. So I'm really excited. We've got great staff, Ranger's the director, and Jess is the assistant director. And it's just going to be so much fun. There's going to be some read aloud stuff. And there's for both younger kids and older kids, there's going to be spooky stories. Some of the other things they have are little movement things, they're wiggles or brain beats or something. I don't even remember, but it looks so much fun. And on Friday night, they're having a fairy tale ball. So if you've got kids and you're coming to Multiverse, and if you've got kids and you're not coming to Multiverse, you should come to Multiverse. But if you're going to have kids there, definitely get them ready for the fairy tale ball in Adventure on Friday night. They can dress up and, put on their wings and all the things. And it's just going to be so adorable. So I'm so excited. One of the other things we have, which I know you are excited about, is Studio 42, which is going to be a room that is dedicated to podcasting or doing video shows, or, you just want to record, maybe you want to interview somebody or whatever. You can sign up for a slot at Studio 42. I think Jesse, are we doing 30-minute time slots, I think? And if you need an hour, you're welcome to sign up for 2, but, in a row so that you get your whole hour. But if it can be kept shorter, that would probably be best, just so that, everybody gets an opportunity.
They're hour-long slots, as far as I remember.
Yeah. Oh, are they? Okay. I thought they were 30-minute slots, but that's okay. I was not in charge of that part. I'm just excited we have it. Oh yes, I also run the right track. So what should people look forward to or sign up for in that track? We're going to get there in just a minute, but let me get through the new stuff too. We're definitely going to talk about right track because yes, we're going to do that. But another thing that's new, because we have Studio 42 time slots are an hour. You're right, Joe, with a little setup and breakdown time added on each end. You guys are awesome. So Studio 42 is going to be really exciting. Another thing we have, and I don't know if you know about this yet, Joe, but we are going to have a green room that is specifically for our guests.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Okay, did I? I
Yeah,
couldn't
when we
remember.
did the tour, we went in there and we did the tour.
Yeah. So we're going to have a green room specifically for our guests and our Eternals. So you can purchase a membership that is an Eternal membership, which means you will get a free badge forever, right? So that will also give you access to the green room. So those are the kind of specific to the con and programming and stuff. But a couple other things that we're doing this year is we have, if you go to the registration site on multiversecon.org, you go to register. There's a whole menu of stuff you can choose from. In addition to the tickets, we've got meal tickets, so you can get like for the entire weekend, or you can get just one breakfast buffet, one dinner buffet, whatever, you can buy all that. We also have, and this is the first time we've had this for a couple of years. We did it, I think, the very first year of Multiverse in 2019, but we haven't done it since, is that we have the option to buy an open bar ticket for Saturday nights dance party, which starts at 10 p.m. and goes till 1 a.m. So that's 3 hours. Although I think on the website it says 4 hours, but it's only 3 hours. But it's $40 and they'll have the bar there and you can drink as much as you want. Please don't get hammered. Like, don't get completely hammered. Don't get like sloppy falling down drunk. Please don't do that. I mean, you get 3 drinks and
I mean, technically. So if you think about it, right, it's $40 per hour.
Mhm.
That's basically, if you break it down, like a bar drink, right? That's $15 a drink.
Yeah.
So you're getting three
yeah.
drinks, basically.
Yeah.
So
if you get 3 drinks, you've made your money back. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You muted yourself. I don't know if you realize that. So those are kind of the new things that we've got this year in terms of both programming and the hotel. And the hotel is gorgeous. Y'all wait till you see this hotel. It is, I mean, you've seen it, but the rest of you, we are so stupidly excited about this hotel. It's just dumb. Oh, we're also going to have multiverse drinks at the bar. I believe, and please, Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have one that is a mocktail that is non-alcoholic. Is that right? I'm pretty sure. I think we've got 2 alcohol and 1 non-alcohol, I think. So, and the cool thing about the things like the open bar and the meal tickets and things, pound cake, you can still get the open bar even if you aren't going to the pajama jam dance party. Yeah, you can pop into the dance party, get your drink, and go somewhere else. You can absolutely do that. Also, it'll be open for cash bar if you choose not to do that. And I meant to mention this, so thank you for that. That if you do you don't have to do the open bar in order to get a drink at the pajama jam, which is the dance party on Saturday night. It's an open bar. It's a cash bar too, so that's no problem. That's my husband. My husband wants cake, because of course he does. One
question about that.
Say hello in Author's Alley. Yeah, go ahead.
One question about that. There was talk, I believe, when you did the interview with Jesse and Allison about having cash bars in the karaoke and the other events. Is that still going to be the case?
That is my understanding. That is not my purview, but my understanding, yes. So we will have it in karaoke, which is Friday. Oh, okay. Jesse, yes, we have 2 cocktails, the Mount Doom and the Cheshire Cat, and 1 mocktail called the October Special. I didn't realize it was named after Toby. That's awesome. All right. So what the hell was I saying? I forgot.
The cash bar at the
and
karaoke.
Yeah. Yeah, there will be a cash bar at karaoke, which is Friday night. And it's going to be in a different room. So one of the other things, and this is for everybody who is going to be there and going to have the app, you're going to see that all of our sessions are sorted by track, right? But some tracks have multiple sessions going on at the same time. They obviously can't be in the same room. So definitely when you see that there's 2 in one time slot, make sure you look at the location so you know where you're going. Because like the meat track has several that are in the extra room, karaoke, and we have Geeky Trivia that's also on Friday afternoon. Those 2 things are going to be they're on the Gather track, which is the name of our main programming, basically, but they're going to be in a room across the hall from Gather. So yeah,
And
so
the
definitely
Monster
make
Mash
sure you
had to
guys
be
look at that.
separated too, right? So the Monster Mash.
Yes, Monster Mash is going to be. Monster Mash is going to be. It's on Friday night, and it's in Serenity, so it's in the one near it. Yes, Monster Mash is the horror track, but it's in a different room because it gets very loud, and then it makes the things happening on the other side of the air walls useless because no one can hear anything. So we moved it to a room that has actual walls. So I'm sure it's going to be like, I'm sure both sci-fi and fantasy are like, thank God. So yes.
Yeah, so
apparently
that's awesome.
Paige is bringing cake.
Apparently,
I like cake.
Yeah.
Yes. Save me some cake.
We did post the question page, so Arjun already asked the question, so we posted it up there. So the cake.
Yes, there's cake. Yes. Yes.
So what's different for you from year 1 to year 2? This is your second year. Do you feel more settled? Talk to us a little bit about how you are doing in terms of the transition and making it to the new hotel.
Yeah, so this is my second year as programming director. Yes, I've been the right track director since the beginning, and I'm not ready to let it go quite yet. But regardless, this was interesting because last year it was very much figuring it out, right? And one of the things I did last year was I made a Google Calendar with all of the dates that, like, when guest applications open and when they close and when we have our meetings and things like that. And I put them on this calendar with an annual, where it recurs annually. So I don't have to think about the schedule. Like when we come up to the next year, I don't have to think about when I need to do things because it's on that calendar. So I've done things like that where I've put some processes in place. Also, I have a director and an assistant director for the Gather track, which I didn't have last year, which means I still did a lot of the emailing and the contacting so that, she could get her, feet under her. But it's Kelly Lynn Colby and Kevin Colby, and Kelly Lynn Colby runs, they both run Cursed Dragon Cursed Dragon Ship Publishing, I think it is. I always forget the ship part. I don't know why. I just want the Cursed Dragon, I guess. So having a Gather director is going to be so useful, in the coming years. So she's getting cut. She kind of got her feet under her. She was part of the conversations I was having with people. And then next year, I'm going to let her do all the conversations with me, just CC'd, right? So that, and then after that, she should be good to go, to where I shouldn't even have to, do much unless she needs me. So that's going to be a big change that I'm not seeing the fruits of just yet, but I will in the future, and that's fine. Yeah, so and we had a shakeup. We had not a shakeup, but we had a couple directors who had been with us for 4 or 5 years, and they needed to step down because they wanted to do some other things in their life, which is totally cool. They had other things they needed to focus more attention on, and so we found a new director for sci-fi. And then the assistant director of horror stepped into the directorship, and then we got a new AD. We still don't have an assistant director for sci-fi. So, if there's anybody out there who thinks that would be interesting, come talk to me. So yeah, so we have a few new faces and stuff, and of course we have a whole new track. So that's Ranger and Jess are also additional new faces. So yeah, but I think that it felt like it went pretty smoothly this year, because last year I realized that when we finished up the I think it might have been the guest selection process, it was a little too, like, it needed to be finished a couple weeks sooner. So I was able to adjust that on the calendar, for this year, last year. So that was very helpful. So I feel like it's been going well. I don't know. My directors haven't all revolted yet, so I feel like it's okay. Um, so yes.
Love them. They're awesome. All right.
I don't know what
I don't.
what
I
was
don't
that
know
for.
either.
I don't
I,
know. I
I
love
hope it's.
everything. It's all
I hope it's for
awesome.
the directors, but yeah.
Oh yes, the directors are
I
fabulous.
think so. Maybe I don't know. Paige can clarify for us if she wants. But I so when the schedule comes out on Wednesday or whenever it comes out, we're not going to put it on that it will
This
come out
week.
Wednesday.
This week. It'll be this
This
week.
week. What would you say is the best strategy for someone who's starting out and hasn't figured out how multiverse has the rhythm to multiverse yet? What would you say is the best
Mhm.
strategy for a person starting out to figure out their schedule, to kind of what to do and where to go?
Well, I think any convention is, and I tell this to anybody who's going to any convention, is, have an idea of what you're trying to get out of it, at least in an abstract way. Oh, if you're a writer, oh, I want to network with other writers versus maybe going to panels, or I want to find my musician friends, although I don't know that we have a music meetup this year, but or I want to geek out on, like, science fiction is my jam, and that's where I'm going to be. Or I love gaming. I want to go participate in a tabletop RPG or something, or I want to run a tabletop RPG or something like that, or I want to play board games, or I want to go learn something. So go into any convention you're going to go into with at least an abstract idea of what kind of generally you want to accomplish. And for Multiverse, we actually, in our meet track, which is MEET, remember we do verbs, so it's where you meet people. The very first session after opening ceremonies start at 1. At 2:30, which is the first session, there is a meetup in the meet track. And I think the name of it is How to Get the Most Out of Your Multiverse Experience or something like that. And we've got several folks who have been to Multiverse before, and I think there's one on there who hasn't, which I thought it was kind of weird. But either way, yes, that's Sean's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But but that's a good place to start, because I mean, I'm assuming I'm like, I don't micromanage
Yeah,
my directors, so
you're not your
it's
mother.
going to be what it's
You're
going to
not their
be.
mother.
I'm not right. I'm not your mom. Not your mom. So happily child free. So that's a good thing. But definitely, like, look through the schedule, see what's interesting to you. If there are particular things, if you're a writer, definitely check out the right track. If you're an artist, we've got an art track. There's also an art show, art reception. We've got lots of art stuff. We're very creative folks. But you'll be able to look by track, so you're not inundated with every single
Mhm.
thing. You can look by track and just see what catches your eye. If there are particular guests that you're interested in, we don't, there's this new app. There doesn't seem to have like it's not going to have like a guest list, but on each panel there'll be the guest bios, and also there'll be a tag that you can tap on, and it will then take you to that tag, that person's tag, which will show all the things that they're in. So so if there's a particular person you want to connect with, it just really depends on what you're looking for.
I would also add, just on a personal note from my experience, is to dip your toe into a little bit of everything. Don't
Mhm.
sit at the right track the entire time, because there are things that cross over. It's horror track and sci-fi track
Mhm.
and fantasy track, and even the meat track for the most part,
Yeah.
and even the learn track, because the learn track is geared toward what Multiverse is about. So there's going to be some things you're going to learn at the learn track
Mhm.
about. Maybe you're writing about cryptids. There's going to be a cryptid class, and
Yeah.
then things like that.
Yes.
So don't just narrow it focusly to the writer's track. Get
Yes.
yourself an opportunity to go. You're not going very far. It's not like Dragon Con where you have to travel to 6 hotels to get
Yeah.
to the.
You're not going to be at an entirely different hotel. It is literally going to be down the hall.
Yeah.
So,
and the
the other thing,
I think
Go
we're
ahead.
about to say the same thing.
Go ahead.
One of the great things about it is that they give you enough time between each session.
Yep.
You get about 30 minutes, and then you get out. They even have a dinner break at Multiverse, so you get that time to figure it out too, and also to travel from one end to the other if you need to. So
Yes. And this we're going to have a map in the app.
nice.
And you're definitely going to want to have a look at it, because until you actually until you understand how things are laid out, you're going to get lost. You're not going to be wandering around for hours, but you're going to be like, "Oh wait, this is the wrong hallway," So we're going to have some signage and stuff up. So that should help. But yeah, definitely you want to have a look at the map.
So what's new for the right track this year? What have you what have you brought in that you didn't have before?
Well, I don't think we have anything new. So with the right track, we have a few panels that are like we trade out,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, we've got new panels. Obviously,
yeah.
we don't have the same panels every year. One of the things I try to do, so when I'm balancing the right track, I want things that appeal to new folks. Obviously, we want some programming for new folks. But I also want programming for folks who are not new anymore, who are a little more advanced. I don't want it just to be all newbie stuff, because I want it useful for those of us who have been writing for a while or who have been publishing for a while and stuff. So that's one way that I organize the track. But the other way is that I try to get a good balance between craft, panels about craft, panels about the business, which would include marketing or the actual like finding an agent or indie publishing or whatever, the business side, but then also the writer life side, like the balancing side, because I don't know that we, generally speaking, in the greater convention world, I don't know that there's necessarily enough time spent on how to balance everything, because a lot of people work full-time jobs and they write on the side and they have kids, you know God bless them, because I don't know how they do it, but and then there are also times where, like there's been some big horrible thing or just like a lot of stress or whatever, and you struggle with the writing or you struggle with the creativity or whatever, and then there are also folks who are neurospicy, who the way their brain works is different. And so the things that maybe neurotypical people might talk about on a panel may not, like a neurodivergent person might be like, yeah, I don't understand how that works at all. I mean, I do that sometimes, and I'm neurotypical, and I'll be like, my brain doesn't work that way. So, I tried to have a good balance. So this year, some of the stuff we have, actually, let me pull it up I do want to mention one thing we do most years. Well, we've done it for the last couple years. We didn't do it for the first few years, but we've done it for the last couple years, is the Writers Workshop. So that's a Friday night event, and you do have to register early. You have to, so basically what it is we take a couple guests, and then we take 2 or 3 people who have submitted a story of 1,000 words or less, and we pair them together, well, group them together in a little group of, 4 or 5. And then the guests will read through, or, they'll do it however they do it. In some cases, the guests will ask for it early and they'll read through it before they get there. But either way, it's an opportunity for attendees to get feedback from professional authors, editors, like industry pros, right? So it's a really, really good opportunity. So basically what we do is we, get everybody into the right track room. We hand out all the papers, we group everybody together and we hand out the papers and then let them go do whatever. So sometimes, people will set up in a corner of the right track room. Sometimes they'll go into the lobby. Sometimes they'll go to the bar. Sometimes they'll go out to the patio, wherever, and then they'll all work together. We usually allot an hour, but they're, obviously they can go over if they want, so that's really exciting. And I don't know if I don't know if you have the link, but I'll give you the link to put in the show notes later if you don't have it.
Yeah,
So
I'll put it in after we end.
the application for that is open through Friday night, this Friday night, and at about midnight on Friday, they'll be closed because then we have to, do the work because Multiverse is next week. So some of the stuff we have fighting imposter syndrome. We have advanced world building, folklore, and folk magic, which is going to be awesome because the people on it are amazing. Budgeting for your author career. I'm missing a bunch of stuff on here. How to handle distraction, rejection, and other writer life challenges. Working with editors and professional readers. Advanced characterization, writing the anti-hero heroine. So, we try to we're also doing a breaking the binary, writing trans, non-binary, and gender fluid characters. So we've got lots of stuff. Let me see what else we got. So it's super weird because some of the I don't know, it's weird. Oh, we have writing as activism, giving good critique. We also, this year, I'm so excited for this one. We have a panel about mystery and crime fiction called Getting the Details Right. That's a brand new one that we've never had before ever. And like, it's one of those things like poetry. And I put it on the guest programming survey to see if we have people who are interested in being on it. And some years they make and some years they don't. Poetry almost made this year, but mystery and crime had more people. So yeah. So the other thing we do, and this was new 2 years ago, we started it. We do not have writers in the bar. We don't have that. There's not enough time. There's not enough time. If we did writers in the bar, we would have to do it on Friday night, which means we would have to get rid of the workshops. So we may do that next year. We did that the first year at Multiverse. We did writers in the bar. I didn't know the bar was going to be closed on Saturday or on Friday night, but it was.
We did.
And so
we did
I got
the first year I was there.
Did we do? Oh yeah, we might have done it. I brought it back for that year, but it just didn't work very well. It didn't work very well. The first year, the bar, they didn't tell us they weren't going to have the bar open on Friday and Saturday night. So I brought my alcohol down from my room and shared it at Writers at the Bar the very first year. But at any rate, so yeah, no, I might do it. It'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we're in the bar anyway. But what I used to do with Writers in the Bar is that it would actually be on Saturday night before the dance party. But what I would do is on Friday and Saturday during the day, I'd have a little box in the right track room where people could put questions. And then I'd take those and I'd type them up and print them out. And basically, it was kind of a speed dating with writers, but very free flowing. Like, we'd sit a couple of folks a couple of the pros at each table, and then I'd give them those lists in case they needed something to start up conversations. And then attendees would just come and sit wherever and they'd talk, whatever. It was really just like a specific time to be writers in the bar. That's really what it was. So I might bring that back. It depends. It depends on how the workshopping goes, because I might switch them out and do writers in the bar workshop every other year. So I haven't decided how that's going to work yet. But the other thing, and I want to talk about this really quick and then we can be done, but we have our story times, which you guys have heard me talk about this before, I'm sure. But story times are basically a group author reading like you have never seen an author reading before in your life. It is stupid and ridiculous and hilarious. And it lets you see the authors as human beings, like that they're not just, always behind. I mean, they are usually always behind their screen or whatever, but we bring them out for this part. So basically, all of the writers provide some giveaway gifts. Usually there's one book and then one something else. It can also be a book, but one of their books and then the other one. So over the course of it, everybody gets a raffle ticket. I'm sorry, not a raffle ticket, a giveaway ticket. It's not a raffle, it's a giveaway. A giveaway ticket just for attending. So everybody gets one regardless. But then people can earn additional giveaway tickets by volunteering. And they can volunteer to read if a writer doesn't like to read, because we've got writers who don't like to read their stuff out loud. If they don't want to read, that hardly ever happens, though, if I'm being honest. The way most people earn their additional giveaway tickets is by volunteering to act out what's about to be read without knowing what's about to be read. So, and it is stupid and hilarious. Like somebody was like a hurricane at one point or a tornado or something like that. It just spun around the floor. It was so silly, so silly. So yeah.
And the authors are getting creative. They're looking for the most explicit, interesting aspect of their story that doesn't give too many spoilers away.
Well, the thing is, it's like the authors have 5 minutes. That's how long they're reading. It's 5 minutes. So it's not like they're going to be able to give away a lot of stuff anyway. Yeah. But the trick is, and I've been doing this particular thing at a different con for almost 15 years. And so this is the first time I've brought it to a different con, was when I started. Oh yeah, Paige, you got to pick your story, but you only get 5 minutes. I actually need to get that email sent out for those people. That reminds me. Let me add that to my list. Hang on. Hang on. Story time. Email. Okay, sorry about that. See, this is basically how this month has been so far. The last 4 weeks, really. So, but the thing is, it can only be 5 minutes and it has to be action. It can't just be people sitting and talking, because that's boring. You can't act that out, So, so it has to be
you're
action.
killing all my art house dreams with that. You know that, right?
But I mean, but the purpose for me, like when I first came up with this, there are a couple things, like author readings, like most authors dread author readings. They want them, but they also dread them, because unless you already have a following at the event that you're at, there's a greater than zero chance that only 1 or 2 people are going to show up, if that many. Yeah. And so when you don't have to worry about that, it's much less stressful in my experience. And the other thing is, because people are acting out what you're reading, it's not all eyes on you. People are hardly even watching you at all. Yeah. They're watching the people who are up there being ridiculous and silly. So, so it's a lot less stressful for everybody involved. Because I don't know about you, but I've gone to author readings to support an author friend, right? And sometimes I'm the only one in there, and then I feel awful for them, So it's awkward for me and it's awkward for them, and it's just So we do away with all that at Multiverse. So The only people who do have an opportunity to do an actual reading are the guests of honor, because they each get a spotlight
Yeah.
in our gather track. They each get a whole hour just for them, and they get to do whatever they want. This year, I think all the authors just wanted to what's the word? They just wanted to be interviewed. It's but last year we had Milton. Milton did he also had a showing of a short film during his, in addition to the Q&A. We've had readings during them. We've had, like the guests of honor get to do what they want. So if that may be a thing. So anyway. Okay, next question.
So I mean, we're getting into a new space. This is kind of a walkthrough, dress rehearsal for what's the futures to come, for what Multiverse will become.
I wouldn't call it I believe this would be our opening night. I wouldn't call it a dress rehearsal.
Okay. Well, I mean,
but this is our opening night at a new space. Yes, this year.
So what does the future hold for Multiverse? What are you looking forward to already that you're thinking about that this new space is either conjured up, or that you want to, hopefully the success of the new space will propel you into?
So we definitely have additional tracks in mind, but so a track that we've been wanting to add that was absolutely second behind the adventure track is, you will appreciate this, a visual media track. So like film, movies, short films, YouTube, stuff like that, like actual film kind of stuff. So that's a big one that we want to add. That's probably not going to be for a couple of years, because we need to increase the attendance so that we can justify adding a new track. So that's the next one, I think, that is going to be on deck for Multiverse. But what I'm really kind of excited about is, there are two things, especially this year, I'm excited about. One is the folks who haven't seen the new space yet. I'm excited. Like the folks who have, like, current Multiverse fam, the folks who have been to the old hotel. I am so excited to see their faces when they come to this hotel, because it's just so fabulous. So that's one thing. The other thing I'm really excited about is, we do, as you mentioned earlier, we do have a lot of new people, both in terms of guests and in terms of attendees. And so I'm really excited to meet new people. I love meeting new people. It's one of my favorite things. So that's one of the things I'm also really excited about in this new space. So
awesome. I think it's a good time to mention too, if you're there Thursday, if you get in Thursday, there is a great opportunity to network right off the bat. And that is, there's a load-in period that we're doing setup for. And this is a great opportunity to get a lot of good time with the people that matter the most about Multiverse. Jesse, Allison, Venessa, Holly, all of them will be a part of this process. And yes, you will be sweating and you will do work, but you will be doing work while you're conversating. So that is, and it's always a lot of fun. The people who always are there to do it is it's a good way to get your con started. So if you are there Thursday, come on downstairs. Don't hibernate in your hotel, although that might be the only time you get sleep.
I mean, you can, not your mom. But if you want to come really low pressure, we can always use extra hands. 3 p.m. on Thursday. Yeah, and we'll be there for at least several hours. So don't, if you can't get there till like 4 or 5, we'll be there.
And don't pressure yourself to get in your hotel and come down. This is if you're already settled, and
and also if you just want to, because also it's a very kind of behind the scenes, low key, no pressure kind of environment, because we're all kind of just working together to try to get all this shit done, and it's like I have high hopes that the rooms will actually be set up by the hotel when we have load in this year. I have very, very high hopes for that. And we don't have to set the rooms ourselves, break down and set the rooms ourselves. I'm really hoping that that's going to be a thing. But yeah, and even if you have mobility issues or whatever, you can just come and hang out too, because they'll be setting up the art show, which means they'll be putting stuff together. So, maybe they might need some water or something. And if you're comfortable getting them some water from ops, get them some water, So, Paige says, I'd be helping load in, but I'll be fetching Rob at that time. Oh, excuses. Thank you for fetching Rob. So, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I would love to kind of. We're getting toward the end of the hour here, and you promised me an hour. So
I know it's gone by so fast.
I don't want to keep you beyond that, although I know you would. But I am curious. I'll put up what Jesse just said. We've mentioned advanced room for the hotel. Yeah.
And this hotel is so much more cooperative than the other hotel. So I have, like I said, I have very high hopes.
So my question
you were saying, Joe.
Yeah, my question is along those lines. So there is a code of conduct within Multiverse. Mm-hmm. Everybody should know that. Yes. Everybody should follow that. But what are some things we can do to help ourselves make a good impression with the hotel to begin with? What are some of your advices for that aspect, and for you to make your job a lot easier as well?
Mm-hmm. So definitely, and this is any con really, don't be a dick. That's like the universal rule. Don't be a dick. And treat the hotel staff well. They're here, they're there. Yes, they're there to take care of us, but we're also there to take care of them, because at Multiverse we are indeed all individual units, but we also come together in the multiverse, and they're part of us too, right? So take care of them. And this hotel already loves us, so it's not going to be hard to love them back. So make sure you're tipping your service people. Tip if you have somebody helping you with your luggage to your room, tip them. If you're at the restaurant. And here's the cool thing also about the meal tickets that we have available. It includes tax and tip. So you don't even have to worry about that if you purchased any of the meal tickets. So you don't have to worry about that. But if you're not on the meal ticket and you're getting food or drinks at the bar, tip your people, right? And y'all know that. Y'all are not assholes. Y'all know that. And also, please don't trash anything. Yeah.
Can I offer something? A thank you goes a long way. I think finding you and Jesse and Allison and the folks in the hotel.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, for everybody. I'm saying for everything.
Yeah.
For the hotel, for sure.
Yeah.
Just say thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Yeah. Be grateful for the moment that you have, because this is an incredible con put on by incredible people, and now with an incredible partner in the Hilton.
Yes, in the hotel.
It is worth the time for you to gain some karma and be grateful for that opportunity to be there and be a part of it. And
yeah.
I'll say that because not anybody else can say that. I will say that. So.
Yeah, and I think that also in terms of helping us, helping us during the con is, and I don't mean individually, I mean as a convention, make sure you're familiar with the code of conduct, right? Also, if somebody looks like they need help, don't initially help, don't just run and help them, but ask them if they need help. They may not, right? And we hold consent at a very high level. And when we talk about consent, it's not just in yes, Jesse. It's not just in kind of, a lot of times when you hear about consent, it is in terms of relationships or, things like that, people who are hooking up or whatever. But for us, consent also is about just simply touching other people. If you don't know them, me being a hugger does not overrule someone else not being a hugger, So like I am a hugger. Most people who know me know this, and they know they could just come in for a hug almost always. But respect people's wishes, right? And if you don't ask, you can't know what their wishes are, right? So, things like that will be helpful. And always, it's always nice, if you're the type of person that enjoys helping other people, if you see that there's something going on, or if you're in a track room and, ask if the director or the person at the table needs anything, or Author's Alley, which we didn't talk about Author's Alley yet, except Paige mentioned it earlier. But like when you come in after you get your badge and stuff, there's like these, the hallways to get to the places. It's going to be like authors, buy their books, I mean, you don't have to. I'm not your mom, but buy the books. So
yeah, I was going to mention at the end, leave a little room in your suitcase because you might be going home with some art and some books. So.
Yeah. I came home with art last year, and that was actually the first time. I'm usually really good at not buying things at cons. I'm usually like, because that's one of my things. Like if I buy stuff at cons, it's almost always a gift for someone else. Like if I'm going to buy something at a con, it's almost always a gift. I've gotten like dice at cons because Holly collects dice. I've gotten like little clay dragons that are just amazing at Jordan Con, one of the vendors at Jordan Con. And like, I've gotten a couple of those for my nephew, and but last year I bought art for myself. So yeah, one of our wonderful artists, Reese Harp, they did a thing. They are hard of hearing, so signing and deaf culture and things like that are big for them. And they did this wonderful 3-piece art of from Good Omens, Crowley and Aziraphale separate, and they're both signing Lonely, and then there's one of them together, and they're signing together. They're together and signing together. So like I got to watch them like work on it on their YouTube channel, and I was like, if you finish that in time for Multiverse, I'm buying those. And they were like, okay, and they did, and I did. And then later on they were like, did you really buy that? I was like, I told you I was going to buy it.
Yeah.
They're like, you're just being nice. I'm like, I don't spend $180 just to be nice.
No,
I'm just saying. So
yeah, that's my goal this year. I'm going to leave Multiverse with a piece of artwork.
And you're also going to go to the Create Room. You're also going to go to the Create Room.
We'll see. I mean, I have put a bounty out there for anybody who does not know who will be attending Multiverse. The first person to grab me and take me to the Create Room when I am not busy. Let's put that caveat out there. I'm going to a panel. Please don't.
Please don't drag him off panels. That would be awful.
But just ask me if I'm available, and if you do, and you're the first person to do that, I will gift you a Go Indie Now mug or shirt, whatever you decide you want. So.
Oh yay! I want that. I want a mug. And we also have we have somebody in the Create Room, which is basically a giant craft room. Yeah. And we have classes in there, but not always. Sometimes it's just, open crafting. But one of the things we have is creating magical spell jars.
Ooh.
And then, I know, right? And then there's one creating and using your own magical sigils. And they're back to back, which I think is hilarious. There's a rug making class. There's junk journaling. Oh, crochet wire sun catchers. Oh, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. Yeah. And upcycled bottle caps, Klingon craft hour. There's all kinds of stuff over there. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. And there's an art show for people who don't know. There's you can go and
a dealer room and an art show. Yep. And we have a gaming hall that is open from, I think, directly after opening ceremonies on Friday till 1 a.m. And then Saturday it opens up again at 10 and stays open till 1. And Sunday, I think it is 10 till 4 till 4. Because I think closing ceremony, till 3:30 probably.
Yeah, closing ceremonies
are at 4.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, let's mention really quickly our guests of honor. because we haven't
Please.
talked about them at all. So we have Justina Ireland, who's an amazing author. We have Lauren Brown, who is we'll talk about her here in a second, I think.
Yeah.
But she's good. She does such amazing artwork. And then our third guest of honor is Sherilyn Kenyon. You may have heard of her if you read urban fantasy or paranormal romance or anything like that. You probably know who she is. I actually interviewed her week before last, something like that. Yeah, we know you'll be there for the cake, honey. I know. But anyway, on Conversation a Cocktail, she and I had a really fun conversation. So I didn't get to interview Justina. She said she wasn't doing, she was taking a break from online promo kind of things. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But I get to talk to Lauren a week from now. Look at her. Oh, well, a week from 2 hours ago. 9:00 on Monday. That's the wrong date. It says September 14th, but it's actually October 14th. So maybe we change that.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Can we change that? And then I send it to Lauren again.
Yeah.
So yes. So we are going to sit down for an hour. We're going to chat about her art. It's going to be fun. I've never actually interviewed an artist on Conversation and a Cocktail. I've only ever interviewed writers. So that I'm going to have to actually do some serious thinking about it. I always do some thinking about it, but it's not always serious thinking about it. It's really like, I want to talk about that and that and that. And then, like, that's it. Like, because I know, like, I'll have 3 things on my list and I'll probably get to 2 of them and then we'll go off on tangents and we'll talk about all kinds of stuff. I just need to get us started. So yeah. So it's going to be really, really fun. It's going to be really, really fun.
All right. Deep breath. Are you ready? You ready for? We are officially.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
Well, if I could reach through the screen and hug you right now, I would. I can't.
I'm going to get my hugs from you on Thursday.
I know.
Sure.
I can't thank you enough. First off, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. This is becoming a good annual tradition, and we'll hope to keep this going. We'll talk about that later on, but this is something that I just I'm really grateful for you being here to take the time that out of your busy schedule to be here for this, and I really do appreciate that. And I also want to thank you on behalf of the Multiverse family and the universe for everything that you've done to make this a very special thing for all of us who attend. If you haven't seen the last 25 episodes of this show,
there's some fun stuff.
Everybody who I interviewed had nothing but love for incredible love. And I'm not just talking about just, canned answered love. I'm talking about really, truly passionate love about this incredible convention that you, Allison, and Jesse, and Jesse, I know Jesse is watching, and Allison will probably watch later. Thank you both for this, and thank you to the 3 of you for this opportunity for me to be a part of this, to host this special thing that we do now the second year in a row. And I'm really, really grateful for that opportunity. It means so much to me because Multiverse means so much to me, as all of you do. So thank you, Venessa. Thank you so much.
Well, I mean, we love that you do this. Like, I haven't been able to catch every single show, but I try to catch the shows when I can. But yeah, having you on board and doing this is just amazing. It's just, I'm so happy. I'm so happy you're here. And because Multiverse is the convention of my heart out of all the conventions I go to. And I go to a fair number of them. Yeah. All of them I go to, like, I love most of them in their own ways. It's not that, they all suck and Multiverse is the best, but Multiverse is the one that it grabbed my heart from the first year. One of the things about Multiverse, and we haven't talked about this at all, is that it was actually built from the ground up with the idea of creating an event that actually reflects what fandom looks like. Yeah. Because, a lot of the legacy conventions, conventions were generally started by cishet white people, which is fine. That's fine. Yeah. But then, after they've been around for 10, 20, 30 years or whatever, they have to do a lot of extra work to make it, to try to get marginalized people in, because it can be hard if you're a marginalized person and you're walking into a giant event that is mostly not people that look like you or are part of your fam, you know what I mean? Like, it can be very daunting, and it's a lot easier to say, no, I'm not going to put myself through that stress than actually doing it, which is valid, right? So
Absolutely.
one of the things we wanted to do was to make it so that everyone, especially the people who are marginalized and people who maybe don't feel as comfortable at other conventions, we really want them to have a home here, and it was built, Multiverse was built from the ground up with that in mind. And we keep that in mind with every decision we make, whether it's programming decisions, whether it's hotel decisions, whether it's, how we're doing this event or that event. We try to keep that top of mind. Most of our staff, like, cishet white people are the minority on our staff. I mean, we have, because we want to welcome everybody, but like, we have a lot of neurodivergent people. We have a lot of queer people. We have a lot of people of color, and so like that, and that's the way we want it. So anyway, if you're on the fence, come visit us. Come hang out with us. You'll have fun, I promise. You just have to get there. Once you get there, you'll want to come back every year.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it's all about. So, well,
Liam says, wait, can we show it, Liam?
Yeah.
Oh, and Liam says Multiverse just has a feeling. And I like this one, the next one. As a veteran of a lot of conventions, this is the first one I don't have to convince myself to go to and participate in. Yeah, and especially if you're an introvert, you do need to experience Multiverse. If you're an introvert, Multiverse, we didn't talk about that. Multiverse is a really, really good con to go to because there are an awful lot of introverts that go to Multiverse, And one of the other things too, and this is especially good for neurodivergent folks with anxiety, stuff like that. We have an entire room called our sensory break room that it is in a quiet corner of the con. It doesn't share a wall with anything else. It has these beautiful windows that look out on, well, the parking lot, but the trees are right there too. So, but we have bean bags in there. We have coloring books. The lighting is lower. It's just a place to go when you get a little overwhelmed with all the people and all the movement and all the stuff. You can just go and just chill out and just rest for a little bit. So, we try to, make everybody feel at home. Paige says Multiverse year 1 was the con I was waiting for since I started con going 30 years ago. Yeah, Paige is one of the ones who's been with us from the beginning too. Neurodivergent introvert from Liam. At least the quiet room isn't next to me again. Oh yeah, because our other hotel room was so small, you had to use an actual hotel room for it. So Authortunities says, oh my god, I need this. I broke down crying at my last book signing because there were too many people, too much going on. Oh yes, definitely come to us. I feel like you are our people.
This is Angela Eureka Smith.
This is who?
Angela Eureka Smith.
Oh, hey, hello. Anita told me that I should interview you on Conversation and a Cocktail. I'm pretty sure it's you. So yes, Paige has come to the awesome. Had to mind the death metal. Yes, you have to mind the don't worry, you're not anywhere near the sensory break room now, Liam. You can play that death metal. I mean, unless you're next to me, you're gonna have a problem.
This reminds me, I need to hang out in Liam's room a lot more this
right?
weekend. That weekend too. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to Jesse, Allison, Venessa once again. Spotlight on the Multiverse is just, I've been so fortunate and so blessed to be a part of this opportunity to talk to everybody about this incredible convention. My love for it is 1,000-fold as well. So It's just awesome. So thank you so much. And Vanessa, go ahead. You know the magic words, so why don't you say them to take us out?
Y'all don't forget, now, always, at Multiverse or not at Multiverse, it's always time to go indie now.
Bye.